Hey guys, Colt Wesson here from Search Engine Optimization Steps.com. I know it's a long URL, but anyway, I just wanted to bring you this video, okay, to give you a complete step-by-step how to search engine optimization guide, the steps for search engine optimization from beginning to end. And I figured that there's a lot of content out there that's cool, that's great. I'm not gonna go into complete depth of every single section, but I am gonna give you an overview. So if you're new to SEO, or if you just kind of know about it, but you need like some direction on how to do it, I'm gonna give you that direction today. So I'm actually working on a blog post for my site. I'm gonna show you my site real quick. This is my site, and I'm working on a blog post that's going to lay all this out in step-by-step format. But honestly, like, I can show you the document. This is it right here. I'm at almost 1,000 words, and I'm not even close to done, so it's gonna be a while. Anyway, I figured in the meantime I could do a video about it because it's a little quicker to create this video than it is for me to write it all up. Okay, so let's talk about these steps. Basically, if you already have a niche, great. You can skip all these steps that you already done. Again, I'm gonna kind of run through it quickly, but you can find a lot of great content out there that I'm not gonna reiterate all that stuff. You can really kind of dive down in other ones. One program I suggest that you get into if you want to become an affiliate and do this stuff is Wealthy Affiliate. They're really good. They can give you a free site if you take the basic plan. They'll even give you a lot of great training on actually affiliate marketing, the affiliate marketing side, and getting all that set up. So definitely check that out, and then you can do there's like an upgrade thing, and you'll get a website, and they'll give you more stuff. But anyway, that's if you're going to do the affiliate marketing stuff. If you're just here for SEO, or maybe you have your own product, you want to set up a blog, whatever it is, we're going to kind of go into that. Okay, so here are the steps. The first step is to pick a niche. All right, so let's say, for example, you don't know what a niche is, or you don't have one. Basically, a niche is just a section of like people that are together based on like a hobby or an interest or a trait. Okay, so if you go to clickbank.com, they have products you can promote, and even if you're not going to promote a product from here, you can kind of get ideas. Okay, so there's a lot of interesting like things here, like cooking and health and fitness. Those are big ones. Parenting and families, that's another one. Self-help, all this stuff, right? These are niches, okay, but you can kind of drill down into that. um, and I'm actually looking for one in particular. I don't know how they actually break that down. Let me see. Yeah, there it is. Okay, so like, for example, let's say I wanted to do time management. Okay, so that was my niche. All right, again, there's a lot of great ways to find niches, but just to kind of get to the SEO stuff, let's say that my niche was time management. Okay, so you'll want to pick a section of people and kind of drill down into from a large one into a smaller one. And once you have your sub niche, then you would find the keywords. So this is where you really start getting into the SEO stuff. That's why I don't want to get into the niche stuff a lot. So once you have a niche, then you're going to start finding the keywords. Now, there's a lot of great tools out there, some free, some paid. The best paid tool I can suggest to you is Longtail Pro. It's got a lot of features, and for the price, you get a lot. So I'm going to show you that real quick. I'm going to show it to you, but I won't go into it. But let me show you some free ones as well. So basically, once you have your niche, so let's say our thing was time management. Okay, that's our niche. Now we need keywords based on that niche. So like I said, there's this for a free tool, Longtail Platinum or Longtail Pro. This is a great one. A lot of people use it. A lot of major websites use Longtail Pro, and it gives you a lot of bang for the buck. However, if you're on a budget or you're just looking for quick keyword ideas, you can use keywordtool.io. This will give you some suggestions, and so will ubersuggest.io. Okay, so let's real quick run through how this works. So let's say that our keyword was time management, right? So I'm going to copy that. We go to Uber suggest, and then we suggest, and then while that's populating, we go here to keywordtool.io and do the same thing. Now you'll notice they also have tabs for other things, which is great if you're, if you're developing an app or if you're going to create some video content, you can use that for that stuff too. Okay. Now, obviously they have paid versions, so they kind of want you to upgrade or whatever, but you don't have to. Anyway, once you have plugged in your keyword, they'll give you, suggestions on things to think, like words that people search that are similar or contain that word, right? So going through here, you would want to look for a keyword that you could create a website about that you could also, use for monetization, whatever it is that you want to do, whether it's affiliate marketing, selling your own product, ebook, maybe you're doing ads, just want to put up advertisements, whatever it is, right? You'd kind of go through both of these, and there's a lot of other ones, and just kind of figure out what keyword you could create a website about. So just kind of looking through here, let's say we could do time management journal or time management lesson. That's decent, especially if you have like a book on it. Time management life hacks, so that's pretty good. Let me close that. Time management methods, time management magic, that's probably a product, and so on and so forth, right? So we would basically find a keyword that is not really that we could monetize. And once we have an idea of a keyword that we think will work, we're going to create our website about that and then really kind of drill down even further. So let's say that we did, our thing was about time management courses. We were going to do affiliate marketing. Okay. So then we would take that and come to a website provider and see if there's something available. So let's say time management courses was the one that we wanted to do. So we'll see if it's available. It's probably not. I would assume, yeah, it's taken. So we could come back, find a different keyword, and just keep going until we have something. So let's see, time management methods. That's probably taken too, but you never know. So time management methods. Oh, that's actually free. So it doesn't really matter. You could always change the URL of the website. You could do .net or .org, or if you really wanted like time management, whatever the other one was, you could add a word like best time management methods or great time management. You could always add like a superlative or just something in the URL if you really want that keyword. Now, once you have a keyword that you think is really going to work, then you're just going to use other keywords as the content on that site. So let's say we did time management methods, right? And this would be the URL that we did. So timemanagementmethods.com, we'd create our website. All right. So once you have your website on your host, you've claimed your domain. Let's say we were using Small Orange. That's the provider that I use. Then you're going to install a WordPress blog. Now, you can set up a static site. You can set up a lot of different types of blogs or types of websites. You can use a lot of different providers, but really WordPress is I wouldn't say the easiest, right? It's the most customizable and it's the most common. And you would set up your site. So you would go into your cPanel and then you would install WordPress. Again, there's tons of videos on how to do this, but once you have that site up, you're going to focus a lot of the content on the keyword that you chose. So if it was time management methods, then you could either start using some of these other keywords that came up when you were searching that niche, and just take down keywords that you think are going to be really good for you as possible topics to write about. Okay, so you could, any of these other things like time management tips, skills, apps, games, these are all great suggestions, right? And you can even export these from Keyword Tool or Uber Suggest, and you can download them, and then you could just start making content about those other keywords on your website. Okay, so once you have your site installed and you have a blog similar to this, so like if mine is search engine optimization tips, obviously search engine optimization is kind of the keyword that I'm going for, but steps is also another keyword that I found that wasn't really taken. So, for search engine optimization, I would basically just do articles about search engine optimization and the steps to doing that. Okay. And again, that's what this video is actually all about, right? So you can, once you have your main keyword that you want to target, then you would use these other keywords as the content of that website, if that makes sense. So time management methods might be our domain, but we could do time management, apps, tips, skills, whatever, as the pages in that domain, kind of like I did here, where, search engine optimization Bangalore was a similar keyword to what I was looking for, but obviously they're not overlapping. Now, another thing that you can do that you can really drill down in is once you have the keyword that you choose, then you can kind of drill down with that keyword and see what other words there are. Okay, so we did time management methods and we plug that back in, and then we get, time management methods PDF for students and tools for studying in real estate, blah, 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 blah. So you see how we took one keyword and then plugged it back in and then got more keywords from that one keyword. This is amazing because, again, we could use, if you use a tool like this, Longtail, you can actually do this a lot faster and get a lot of results streamlined. But if you don't have a budget for it, you can always just use these two and just, again, do the same thing. So time management methods, if that's our keyword that we chose, then we would just basically plug that back in, and now we have more keywords. Okay, and again, these are what you're going to make the posts of your site about. So these posts in WordPress are basically just these things here. So all of these pages, these little links that you see, these posts in WordPress. So you would just do new post, and then you would basically write a page about 500 words or so on that topic. All right. So you see how easy this is? You basically just set up the WordPress blog, and then you do new posts based on these keywords. Okay. And if you don't know what to write, or you're not very good at writing or whatever, or you just want to have it done for you, you can always go to fiverr.com. Fiverr, and then you can just search blog post, or you can search SEO content or write article or whatever. Blog post is probably the easiest, and then you can find people who just write blog posts. You just find someone who's got a lot of stars, you give them your keyword, they'll create it for you, and then you can download it, put it on your blog, and then there you go. So it takes, it's like $5 or $6, and you can get those posts created for you, and you don't even have to write them yourself. Now, I would suggest writing them or finding, articles you could spin, which is a whole nother thing. You can use spin content, Google, some of that stuff Google catches on to, sometimes it doesn't, so it really just depends. But ultimately, you would just create unique content for those keywords. So like if the keyword, for example, was time management training methods, then you go to Fiverr, you have somebody write it, or you write it yourself based on some other articles. And then you basically just post that as a new post on your WordPress blog, and that's it. And then that's now, a page on your site. And as you keep creating content on the site that's relevant to what you're already doing, your site will become more relevant. Okay, so let's go back to the list real quick. So we picked a niche, we found keywords, we registered a domain, we set up a blog. Now we need to optimize the layout and the plugins. There's not a whole lot. There's a lot of, again, there's a lot of content out there, so I won't go over everything, but let's just talk about some of the plugins. So really, for the bare essentials, you don't need a whole lot. I use Supercache and Yoast. Okay, what Yoast does is it allows you to set each page, and you can do like a detailed snippet of the site. But here's the thing, guys, that stuff is really helpful, but it's not required. Okay, if the post itself, like, let me show you something. So when you create your post, that stuff is great, but really the most important thing is just having the content there. Okay, so like if I edit this page right here, I can actually show you the really important stuff. Okay, so honestly, for your category within your WordPress blog, um, I would just say you could just make one category and then just name it whatever the main keyword is of your site. So time management methods, right? And then the tag would be whatever the keyword is of the page that you're targeting. And I just do one tag with that one keyword and that's it. Okay. You can do a featured image if you want. There's a lot of royalty-free websites out there like Pixabay, Pexels, free range stock or something like that. There's others, but you could get a picture and then just download it, use it as a feature image. And then here is where the Yoast comes in. So you can actually type in, the keyword that you want the web page to focus. And you can actually edit this stuff and you can write out a custom snippet. So basically this is the stuff that the search engine puts into the results of Google or the other search engines. This is the stuff that they pull. So you could edit it and write in a custom snippet of text based on what the page is about, which is great, right? But that stuff isn't the important stuff. Really just getting the content out there is important. Okay, so once you create your site and you start doing these little posts or whatever, I wouldn't put any outbound links right away. I would just create the content on the page, give it like a week or so to index, and then once the site has been indexed and you've got content on there, then you could start linking out to whatever it is that you're going to link to, or you can start placing your ads. I wouldn't post ads or affiliate links or anything right away. I would give it a few days to index and stuff like that. Okay. So going back to, what's essential, honestly, super cache is great because it makes your website load a little quicker. But as far as SEO plugins, there's a lot of great things you can put in, but you really don't need any. But I would say Yoast if you're going to do any. And then again, there's tutorials on how to do that. Okay. Now, coming back to our little list, we've got submit to Google. So if you have a Google account, which most of us do, right? There's a couple of things that you can do to get your site indexed a little quicker. Okay, so one is Google Analytics. So if you just go to Google and search Analytics, you can actually, it'll actually bring it up and you can sign in and then you can submit your property, so to speak, to Google Analytics. Okay. And you would just go to admin and then it would say create property. You create your property, you put in your URL. So actually, I guess I'll just click it and show you real quick. Let's see, is it loading? There we go. Okay, so you have your account and then you do property, you create new property, but I already have one here. It'll just ask for the URL, you put in the URL and then it'll tell you to take a little snippet of code and put it on your website. Again, there's tutorials on how to do that. The other one is Google Search Console. Okay, if you go to Google and just search Google Search Console, it'll come up. And it's kind of similar. Basically, you'll get a snippet, you verify your site, and then it goes into Search Console. Now, this is a brand new website, so there's not going to be any data here. But after a few days, there will be once you submit it. So you'll want to submit your website to Google Search Content or Search Console and to Google Analytics so that Google will actually index your site a little faster by doing that. Now, it's not required, but if you want to index faster, I would say do that stuff because if Google is your target that you want to, compete on, you want to basically do all the stuff that they want, right, in order to rank higher. So I would suggest submitting your site to Google Search Console and getting an analytics code and putting that on your website. Okay. And then once you've done that, then you will just create your content. Like I said, you can just create it yourself. Writing your posts, you want your posts to be or I'd say at least 500 words. They can vary in length, so you can put them at whatever you want, but I would never go below 300. I would aim for 5 to 1,000 because that's actually really decent. Anything above 1,000 is great. And then when you have that content created for that keyword, you just basically create a new post. You do the settings that I showed you, where you put the keyword in the title, you put the content in the actual body of the post, right? So your keyword would go up here. You could, make it cute or whatever you want, or just put the keyword in there. You put your content here, you do your default category. The tag is just the keyword that you're chasing, and then you can also put it here, and then you'd update or submit or post or whatever it says, and then that's it, right? Um, and then you just basically keep doing that for all those keywords that you found. You just keep updating your site. I would say at least once a day in the beginning for the first week or so. After that, you can kind of slow down, or you could speed up. I mean, it's really up to you. As long as you can keep getting content written or made, then you just keep posting it. And then once you have, your site's up and running, you've got your stuff set, and you're making content. Now you're going to get links. Okay. Here's where it gets dicey, because I could tell you to go out and get a bunch of backlinks. You could find people on Fiverr to give you backlinks. You could go out and find other relevant websites to give you backlinks. All I can tell you is that you're supposed to get relevant links from relevant website owners. That's all I can tell you. Now, there are ways where you can get a ton of links from providers, or scraping people, or putting comments on other people's sites, or whatever. That stuff exists. I'm not going to mention all of that. Basically, the only thing I'll say is that you want to get links to your website that basically have the text of what it is that you are. So if it's a time management blog, you want to get links to your website that say stuff like time management methods, time management training, whatever. Keywords that are the keyword you're chasing or similar ones, you want to get links back to your site that basically say those things. Okay. And again, there's a lot of ways to do that. You can just search backlinks on Google. You'll find a lot of things. You can look in sites like Fiverr, or you can join, networks, blog networks, whatever you need to do. That's just how you get your links. Okay. Lastly is you want to get people to share your content. So it used to be you could just get a bunch of backlinks and then you'd be set in SEO. Things have changed a lot. Google kind of leans more towards social stuff. So there's only really one plugin you need that I know of, and that is Add to Any. So just search Add to Any in your plugins, and when you add new, and basically it'll just add this little button to the bottom of your posts. So if I go and view my post, it will have a little backlink, It'll have little share buttons. Okay, and there's also a bar on the side, but either way. So then, people can just go and share these on their own social media sites, and every time they share it, that's possible backlink to your site. So it's really getting your content out there, and any link that you can get from social media is great. And then that's pretty much it. I mean, that's it, guys. Like, this is how you break it down, and then wash, rinse, repeat. So you just keep. And from that point, I just mean you basically, once your site is up and running, you have your keywords, and the site is optimized with the layout and the plugins. Oh, and I say layout, really that's just your theme. A lot of the newer themes are already ready to go. You just want to make sure it's responsive. That's pretty much it. Responsive and kind of clean. I would say that a clean design trumps, a beautiful website, because you just want something that is practical. Okay. So as long as it's clean and you've got, it's a clean website and stuff, you want to make sure you have an about me page, a contact page. I would suggest disclaimers and privacy policy, especially with the whole cookies thing being a big deal now. You have to basically tell people you use cookies. So stupid, because pretty much every website does. But anyway, that's pretty much it. Okay. So once your site is good to go and you've done all this stuff right here, 1 through 6, then you just create more content or have it written for you based on those keywords. You just plug them in. You get more links to your site. You get more people to share those pages, and then you just do it over and over and over and over and over and over and over until you want to stop. And that's it. Like, that is SEO in a nutshell. Okay. So you basically just find your niche, you find your keywords, you create a site about those keywords, you create content about it, and then you get links. Like, that's it, broken down. And that's SEO in a nutshell. I mean, there's not a whole lot else. There's a lot of little minute things that you can find on YouTube or Google these days, but that is the breakdown from beginning to end on how to use search engine optimization to get more traffic and stuff. So there's a bunch of links under this video to like relevant tools and stuff. You can also visit my site to see the step-by-step breakdown of how to do this. It's just search-engine-optimization-steps.com. And I really hope you enjoyed this video. If you found it useful, please just share, like, distribute it to other people. And I really hope that you found it useful. And I wish you all the best in your SEO efforts. That's it, guys. Thanks again.